These are the little things that make your chocolate great. Welcome to Craft Chocolate TV, everyone. My name is Dylan with Manoa Chocolate, and today we are going to talk about some of the more useful tools that we have and use every single day in our chocolate making process. So I'm going to start with one of my favorites. We've got our long-handled little golden spoon here, and this is for tasting. So we're able to reach into the tanks. I really like to try everything throughout the process all the time. So we have a bunch of these around, very helpful. The main thing I use it for is actually in the ball mills and the conch for trying how gritty the chocolate is, how much more time it might need, or trying the level of acidity and to see if I still need to volatilize acetic acid from the conching process. So very helpful. I love these things. Next thing, I'm going to pull out a few of them. The tape and the Sharpie. We have these all over the place. We leave them everywhere because they always seem to disappear, but they're also extremely handy. Labeling. You gotta label things. It'll save you so much headache if things are properly labeled. Never underestimate the power of labeling everything correctly. And whoever is working with you, make sure you instill that in them too. It'll save a lot of pain at certain points that you'll find very silly and could have been avoided. Scissors, also. Buy the 10-pack or the 12-pack. Put them all over the place. You're always going to need to be opening bags, cutting tape. Scissors are super handy. You'll find you use them all the time. These now are also some of my favorite tools. I used to fix surfboards as one of my jobs, and when you're working with resin and fiberglass, you're constantly needing to squeegee things around. And so we get these guys from our local hardware store in different sizes. They're $1, $2 each, and we use them every day. They're really good for getting a really nice scrape out of buckets or whatever bowls you're putting chocolate in, and that way you're not washing chocolate down the drain. So really nice for cleaning things. And let's move along. This is also good, obviously. This is a common one. Bowls, buckets as well. Places that are harder to reach with the little yellow squeegees. Now we've got two different types of scales. These are the little ones. And these are the two that we constantly use for checking the weights of our chocolate bars. We have them all over the place as well. We buy 6 of them at a time, put them everywhere. That way we always have one handy and you're not running around looking for things. You got to save your time. It's worth having multiple. That way if one goes out, you have another backup as well. So checking weights of bars, pre-weighing test batches, whatever you need, super helpful to have. All right. Another one of my favorites, reusable zip ties. These things are awesome. You constantly need to put things in bags, and this seals it up really well, and you can reuse them. I personally hate throwing things away. This is a way to constantly reuse things without having to buy them and throw them away. And you don't need scissors. So we use these all the time when using Grain Pros. Grain Pros are hermetically sealed bags to make sure things are airtight. We will constantly store mainly nibs and shells in these. So they come in different sizes. They're a couple dollars. I think a lot of chocolate makers will already know that your beans actually come in these oftentimes within the burlap sack. So we constantly use these. You can buy them in big packs off of, I believe, Amazon. And now's a good moment to thank our sponsor, which is Cocoa Masterclass. And we strongly believe in what they do because it's chocolate education. I got the opportunity to attend one of these in Hawaii a few months back and just absolutely loved it. So I strongly recommend checking it out. You can get a discount. So you use the code LEARNCOCO and you get 5% off. So check out Cocoa Masterclass. They do programs all around the world, as well as things you can sign up for online. Moving right along. This is another one that most chocolate makers already use. This is for scooping out things like nibs, sugar, raw materials, and weighing them out. So easy to clean, handy scooper. It holds about 1 kilo, more or less, is what we've found. lint-free rags. They come in a couple different colors. We buy them from Costco or Amazon. We have a lot of these around. We use them every single day, all day. Lint-free because you don't want lint entering into your chocolate in any step of your process. So both of them, great. One or the other, doesn't matter. We use colors to help us use in different parts of our process. As we've scaled, we've found that equipment gets loud. So these guys really help with noise. Ball mills, so loud. Winnowing machines are loud. The roasters are even loud now. So ear protection. In fact, the most useful thing they are for is actually the air. We have air all over the factory, which helps us clean or open valves. And so when we're blowing something off, blowing dust off of things, this really helps because it's really high pitched. Earmuffs. Another wonderful tool that is so simple and ingenious that will help you improve your chocolate. This is a grindometer, and we've had this for years and years now. This is showing 50 down here and 0 here, and it helps you measure the particle size of your chocolate by measuring microns. And it's an ingenious way because it's a bunch of little pores that start at around 50 microns, and then it goes to 45 and 40 and 35 and 30. And you dab a little chocolate at the top, and you use this squeegee, and as you pull the chocolate down, it'll start to fill in to the point where all of a sudden the microns of the chocolate are too large and will no longer fill the little pores in this grindometer. I think it's a must-have, especially when you're starting and you're not really sure what micron size you're tasting. But even now, after we've done this for many years, we still don't rely on just taste. It's nice to have a tool as a backup before you transfer chocolate from a ball mill or a stone melanger into your next process to make sure that you've achieved a smooth, creamy texture if that's what you're going for. Batch sheets are obviously essential because you need to keep track of things. This goes back to labeling. We make sure that we check off after we add something into our ball mill. So we make sure it doesn't happen twice. And if somebody else comes in later, they can also do it and know what's happened. So we initial next to every raw material that has been added. We also have the quantities of what is going into the ball mill. And you're always just trying to avoid mistakes in this and make sure you follow your recipes. So batch sheet, we've also covered this in the past. Now, these two things we use in various places as well. This is just a piece of parchment paper. You can see we used this already. And then this is a sheet pan, baking sheet. We use these for putting our bars on after they come out of the cooling tunnel, our vertical cooling tunnel. We place the bars on here. We have different pans and other sheets used for actually putting buckets on the floor. So the buckets that we use don't touch the floor, so that when we want to say empty our stone melanger, we don't have to put the bucket on the ground. It'll go on a parchment paper on a sheet pan just to keep things cleaner, because then you pick your bucket up and you put it on a cart. And then maybe you put your hand under it to dump it into a tempering machine. You're always trying to avoid hair and dirt and the ground. So speaking of buckets, we have tons of these. These are so helpful. And you can store chocolate in them for extended periods of time, but you need to make sure you get the ones that have the seal in them. So this little black seal helps to make sure that it's completely sealed so nothing can get in. And that pretty much sums up normal useful tools that we use every day around the chocolate factory. I hope some of them were new for you and you start using them, because every single one of these is super helpful for us. Good luck, happy chocolate making. See you next time.